Blitz on 2 is sponsored by Steen Enterprises, attorney Trey Harrell, Pella Windows and Doors, Precision Garage Doors of Charleston, and Shelley Leak Law Firm.
A lot of eyes are on the tropics right now. For now, our attention is on high school football. Welcome in to Week 5 of the Blitz on 2. Glad to have you. I'm Dan Fanning.
And I'm Alexandra Cox. A lot of teams on bye this week as region play begins next Friday. Bishop England in the spotlight again, this in our game of the week against Woodland.
To Daniel Island we go. Bishop's up 14-6 after the first quarter. Congrats to Wolverine Jamin Pinckney for being selected to the North-South game. Woodland punting deep in their own territory. Zach Baylog fields it around midfield, finds a seam, then cuts back across the field. He could go all the way. Put 6 on the board. Touchdown Bishop's 21-6 home team. Quinn Mahoney also selected for the North-South. Here he finds Ben the Burner Turner. Ben rumbles into the end zone as BE tacks on another score. That makes it 28-6 after a Jacob Mahoney interception. Quinn said they're not related. The Red Rifle decides to show off the wheels. We didn't know you had it in you, Quinn. Scampers up the middle for a big gain, sets up 1st and 10 inside the red zone. That leads to this. Quinn slings one to Brody Tonin, one of about 8 Tonins on the roster. Just 3. Bishop's lead 35-6 at intermission. To the final we go. 1 Bishop 5-0. BE winners 52-6.
They are on a roll. Somerville hosting the Goose Creek Gators. Goose Creek still looking for their first win of the season. Max Stafford, he finds a wide open Jaden Kelly Murray for a touchdown. Green Wave, they open up the scoring 7-0. Goose Creek looking to get on the board right here. Sincere Lewis gets the ball, but he is sacked by J.T. Williams. Gators would turn it over on downs. A minute plus left in the first quarter. Stafford with a absolute dime to the sophomore, Teru Davis. All right, Teru, we see you. Stafford, he would hand it off once again to Javen Williams. He is a goner. The Green Wave continue to roll as they go up 14-0 before the end of the first. And the Wave would get the massive 48-0 shutout win over Goose Creek.
Now, Berkeley coming out of their bye tonight on the road against St. James.
Stags have a big one next week at Stratford, trying to take care of the Sharks this evening in Murrells Inlet.
To the Grand Strand we go. I guess St. James didn't get the deer warning. Here we go, Stags. First quarter, no score. Stags on the move. L.J. Washington scores from the 2 yards out, 7-zip. Berkeley gets the ball right back on 4th down. Henry Rivers on 4th down to the corner. John Cleveland. Cleveland, this one's for you. 23-yard. I don't know about 23-yard touchdown. Anyway, Stags going on offense yet again. Rivers connects with Elijah Mitchell, and the sophomore is gone. 21-0 still in the first. Berkeley rolls it up on St. James. Somerville pitched the shutout. So does the Stags. 54-0. Your final.
To the Grand Strand, Cambay playing a visit to Myrtle Beach, down 21-7 in the third. Cobras on the move. Mason Samuel right around midfield. Big run inside the Myrtle Beach 10-yard line. And a couple of plays later, Tyler Myers, he goes right up the gut, a 2-yard score, and Cambay makes it a 21-14 game. Beach Boys get the ball back, and Tanner Gaddy making things happen. Running to his left, he finds Rayvon Green the catch, and he reserves field to the right and gets in. That was a 4th down play to Myrtle Beach, up 28-14, and they would go on to get the win over Cambay, 28-21.
And back to Dorchester County we go. 4D plays host to White Knoll. First quarter, no score. Jet sweep to Tyon Fanning. Go ahead, cuz. Fanning rumbles down the Timberwolves sideline. That moves the chains. White Knoll on the move. That drive would stall, though. White Knoll has to settle for a field goal, snap down, kick up. It's good. White Knoll leads 3-0 early in this contest. Later in the first quarter, White Knoll backed up in the shadow of their own end zone. Watch this. Inside handoff to Caleb Geronimi. He takes it to the outside, and he is gone. 4D cannot tack him down. He goes about 95 yards in for the score. Just like that, the visitors have a 10-0 lead. White Knoll comes down to 4D, and they shut out the Patriots 40-0. Now, Oceanside sent shockwaves across the Palmetto State last week for their big win over 5A power Dutch Fork.
Oceanside winners of their last 3, looking to keep it rolling tonight at Johnson Haygood. And Sharks leading 27-zip at intermission. Oceanside driving midway through the third. Aiden Manavian swings it over to Zakai Muncie. Muncie, he races for the first down. That would eventually lead us to this right here. Juju Bonneau rumbles in from the 2 as Oceanside increases their lead up 34-0. Less than 3 minutes later, Muncie, he goes back to work again, takes the inside handoff. He bounces it to the outside, and watch him turn on the Jets. Andrew Miller, you need to hop on this story. Muncie scores to make it 40-0 Oceanside. And the Land Sharks, they would go on to get the 47-0 shutout.
And Hanahan coming off that big win over Timberland last week to win the WOW, making the trip up to Andrews. Hawks trip Gallus, hands it off to Xavier Sabak, who is just shy of the end zone. Looks like he might score. Knocked out about the 2. Hawks in business. Gallus hands it off to Isaiah Snodgrass. He went for $180 last week, goes in for the score. Hawks go up 7-0, 4 to play in the first. Yellow Jackets unable to do anything, so the Hawks back on. Oh, Gallus with another handoff to Snodgrass, and Isaiah is in for 6. Hanahan, they've had some running backs over the years. Isaiah picking up where everybody else left off. That made it 14-0. To your final we go. Hanahan, another big win tonight as they go into region play next week. Hanahan 36-22.
We are just getting started on this week's edition of the Blitz 1-2.
Yeah, when we return, some big Skeeza showdowns in the Midlands, a possible state title preview between Northwood and Hammond. Highlights from Columbia on the other side. And welcome back into week 5 of the Blitz on 2 with Alexander Cox. I'm Dan Fanning. A big one tonight in Skeeza 4A.
Pinewood and Porter Gowd close to knocking off Hammond earlier in the season. Can Northwood do the trick tonight?
Short answer, yes. We're hoping to have some video from this one in Columbia, but how about this? Oof. Northwood Academy goes on the road, knocks off the defending state champs Hammond. Again, could this be possibly a state title preview later in December? I guess maybe they play in November. We will find out, but congratulations to Northwood Academy.
Well done,
big winners tonight, 23-10 over Hammond. Elsewhere in the Midlands, Porter also in Columbia, taking on Heathwood Hall midway through the first quarter. Patrick Belk to Jackson Noble. Belk airs it out deep. Noble hauls it in right there. He scores. That makes it 7-0 Highlanders. Less than 2 to play in the first quarter. Belk airs one out again to Jamani Batts. Batts does the rest. Look at nobody in the frame for Porter Gal. That makes it 14-0 Highlanders. We go to your final score. Now get this. Porter Gal, they came back. They led late. Heathwood would score with under a minute left. They go for 2. They win it by 1. Porter Gal falls 22-21.
And to Pinewood Prep we go as they host Hilton Head. It was 20-7 when we arrived. Silas Bronner, he goes deep to find an open Jaden Alexander in for the score. Panthers add to their lead, now up 28-7 with 1:52 to play in the first. Bronner to Salego. This time Salego, he finds the end zone for 6 more. Pinewood Prep goes up 35-7 with 10 plus to play before the half. And they would go on to get the 69-28 win over Hilton Head Christian.
Battle of the Warriors tonight in North Charleston as Stahl plays host to Waccamaw. Stahl, first drive, watches Jeremy Jean able to escape the pocket. Big gain, almost loses his britches right here, but he pulls him up. He also picks up the first down. Nicely done by Jean. Later in the drive, 4th and 1 right in midfield. Stahl goes for it. Jean was in the shotgun, gets under center. He gets enough that moves the chains for the Warriors first down. If some Jeremy Jean on the ground is good, more is better. Jean able to pick up some more yards. Waccamaw going to have kind of Jeremy Jean nightmares in their sleep tonight. Finally, Jean would go to the air to cap off the drive over the middle to Donovan Stewart. Stahl strikes first. They lead 6-0, but all visiting Warriors from there as Waccamaw. They go back to, I guess they're in Murrells Inlet as well. Big winners over Stahl, 42-12. Cross began region play last week with a big win over MMA. The Trojans have been dominant in the region since 2021.
Trojans back home tonight for their second region tilt against Branchville. Cross High, the place to be on a Friday night. Scoreless early in the contest, Branchville quarterback picked off by William Grant. Grant has reservations for 6 as he takes it back for the pick 6. Try for 2, good. It is 8-0 Trojans. Later in the first quarter, Makai Green finds a running lane, and Makai Green is off. He's finally pushed out of bounds at the 2. Harris to Ramsey would score a touchdown. Speaking of Harris, Tyler Harris, later in the first, he finds LaShawn Talley open inside the 10, hits him in stride, 6 in for 6. Cross extends their lead 22-0. How about more Makai Green highlights to take us into the weekend? Green inside handoff, and a rabbit is loose. No one is going to stop him until he reaches pay dirt. Cross gets the 36-6 win over Branchville.
And finally to Hollywood, a battle of the Baptists between First Baptist and Baptist Hill. First quarter, Hurricane Jack Norris pump fake, decides to tuck and run. Watch Norris go. Whoop! Makes a man miss right here on the sideline. A big 40-yard plus gain by the sophomore signal caller. But later in the drive, Norris trying to airs it out too far. Picked off by Martrell Wright. The right stuff. Bobcats take over. You know who sang that? New Kids on the Block. How many times you see it in the words of Gene Brabham? Great play on defense, then a great play on offense. Braden Franklin airs it out. Guess who? Martrell Wright strikes up the band. 6-0 Bobcats. 6-0. Still in the second quarter. Franklin with a bomb to the end zone, hauled in by Kylan Gordon. Call him Jeff because he races in. The Rainbow Warrior comes down with the catch. Baptist Hill doubles their advantage to 12. They would go for 2. They would get it. Baptist Hill winners over First Baptist 27, your final score. And it's almost time to close up shop on tonight's episode of The Blitz.
When we return, we head to Oceanside to feature their Land Shark cheerleaders in this week's She's Got Game, so stick around.